My friends around the world, this might be a short writing because I'm here in my bathrobe. I haven't even got dressed or ate. I just ate breakfast actually. I'm gonna go take a shower after I do the healing call because I'm starting off late. My healing call is at 10:30 a.m. Japan time. It's an overcast day. I kind of getting up late. I'm gonna go on the weekend road trip to where am I gonna go? Gifu is on Sunday night because it says rain in the area I wanted to go. And on a Saturday night, I will go to what I did 2 weeks ago. What was it? I played at the new station. There's two new stations. I played at Fukui Station, and I played at, I can never think of the other name, Toyama. So I'm going to go back to Toyama because I went on a Sunday. I want to see if it's better on a Saturday night. It was pretty good for a Sunday night. But it was raining, of course, a little bit that night, so it's always bad when it rains. So it says Saturday's not raining there, but Sunday it is raining, so I'm going to go Gifu. Gifu says it's sunny. Anyway, I'm on my all Japan music tour every weekend. I haven't taken a shower, my hair's all fricked up, and I'm in my bathrobe. Okay, but I want to read a little more of the Go Show because still these fraught with lies people with their fraught with lies websites are still totally confused about what I already read. I already pretty much answered all their questions, but they're still confused because they probably didn't listen to my videos. But anyway, I'm not really making it for them. I'm making it for you guys who are actually watching it because they're the Inchantika from the 5,000 who walked out on the ceremony in the air, before the ceremony in the air, on the Lotus Sutra. They're men of incorrigible disbelief, and they have Inchantika Tourette's syndrome. Okay, so here goes, for not for them, but for you guys who are enlightened, who claim, own, and acknowledge that you are Buddhist from time without beginning, that the supernatural powers of the Thus Come One is the eternally endowed state of your true existence. Okay, this one also. So you got to read Gosho's around the time when Nichiren Daishonin said, I finally completed my mission, which was about 1278 or so. It wasn't a scroll. He said no, nothing about a scroll, but this one is talking about the object of devotion. So this might give us some clues to what is the object of devotion, because it's not a scroll. It's you. You as the timeless being that you truly be. Okay, so I'm just gonna read a little because I have a half hour into my call. So this will be a comeback. I redesigned my room. You can tell a little bit different, and still redoing it. My wife and daughter's away for 2 months in Hawaii for my daughter's Hanahao Ori, which is a really top level preschool, pre-kindergarten, the top of the tops. All the people who went to Punahou, which is where Obama went, a lot of them graduated. They donated to create a case school right next to them, a pre-case, really good school. So I hope my daughter goes not only to summer school there, but if we move there, we're gonna go there. Who knows? I'm moving where the universe will let me move. Will allow me to move to further my my international music tour of consciousness. Okay, let's see. Question. This is called 302, whatever that means. Number 302 of Gosho. It says it's one of the 10 major writings. And it was written in that year. He said he completed his mission, so I'm reading other ones all around that time just to because it's all encoded. You got to read past what you're willing to hear, because the real Gosho and the real sutra is what you're actually, between the words, what you actually perceive in your mind as the truth. Not in your mind, but in your heart. That's the true mind. It's the kanji mind with the heart and the little rice field above it. Anyway, the rice field right here, it's your thymus, and that's what Access Consciousness is talking about. Your thymus is the seat of your true awareness, not your third eye. But anyway, I use my third eye for sending rays of energy to my healing clients around the world when we do Quantum Touch 2.0, which is what basically what in the ceremony in the air, he sent out from the white between his two things, he sent out the light of hope. Anyway, okay, we all have that because we're all Buddhists from time without beginning. Okay, question and answer on the object of devotion. This is page 787 of volume 2 of the 4,000 pages. This volume is almost, and here goes the announcements. Freaking political time in Japan. They come around screaming on loudspeakers. You can't. They go by so fast you can't hear what they're saying, even if you did understand Japanese. But I don't understand, so I just say blah, 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 blah. They're gone. Okay, complete meaninglessness. I'm gonna turn off this fan because it's kind of loud. It's kind of getting cold. I haven't used the air conditioner yet this whole summer, which is nice because it's June 30th already. It's almost July. Oh, it's not yet summer, huh? Officially. Anyway, I don't believe in that stuff. When summer starts, time's an illusion. Okay, the only thing is the now, right now, because we're in the ceremony in the air and it has not yet dispersed. Okay, question: is the evil world of the latter age what should? Oh, in the evil world. Sorry, question: in the evil world of the latter age, what should ordinary men and women take as their object of devotion? As if you need to devote yourself to something besides living to the fullest. But anyway, people are confused about you got to have something to devote yourself to. Okay, so he has to talk to the level of the listeners' understanding because they're pretty much sleepwalking humans, not humanoids like I am. Anyway, answer. They should make the daimoku of the Lotus Sutra their object of devotion. Daimoku, the big name. That's what moku means, name. The big name. Big time. Daimoku is Myoho Renge Kyo. It's the title of the Lotus Sutra, but we add Nam in there, which you can say Namu, you can say Nam, but you can say Timu or you can say Tim. I'm Tim. You could say Sukiyaki or you could say Skiyaki because the U sound you don't pronounce in most of the Japanese words, anyways. It's long belated. I've already overly said that on the other videos. I'm not going to say it again anyway. You can say Namu or Nam, whatever the fuck you want, but it doesn't really matter because it's meaningless because there is no M sound in the Japanese language without the U, because the characters are Mami Mume Mo, Kaki Kuke Ko, Sashi Suse, whatever. They have to have a vowel sound according to Japanese language, but that's not really true because most of the time they don't use the vowel in consonants that go like nam yo. It's sound. There's no u between it. It's hyphenated together. Nam yo horengekyo. Anyway, it's just normal Japanese. If you've been in Japan, you know that. But anyway, some deluded, fraught with lies people don't understand that. Okay, so where was I? So they should use the daimoku. That's the object of devotion, which is you, and you're the treasure tower. Because the daimoku is the treasure tower, and in the Gosho from Sato Island, he said the treasure tower is in your 4 foot body. I have a 5-something foot body. I forget. Maybe I'm growing. Maybe I'm shrinking. I don't know. Maybe this bump in my head's growing. I don't know. But anyway, I'm about 5'9" last time I checked. But in Japan, I say it's 171. Is that it? 171 centimeters, I think. I don't know. I'm all confused. And my weight's 71. And I was born in 71. Or the person's body I took over was born in 71. I'm not really that old because I don't believe in aging. Okay, anyway. Question. In what sutra passage or what commentary of the Buddhist teachings is this view expressed? Answer. The 4th volume of the Lotus Sutra states, quote, Medicine King, in any place whatsoever where the sutra is preached, where it is read, where it is recited, where it is copied, or where a roll of it exists, which is my room, right here, it exists. It's copied. I'm copying it right now in video form. They didn't have video form back then, but that's how it's copied, okay? It's read. I'm reading it. It's in a roll. No, the roll is up there. I got it rolled down because it's my Gohansen. Anyway, it's above my altar. You're looking at my altar, right? Oh, you are my altar. No, it's up there. Anyway. Okay, so anywhere that's copied, rolled, existed, in all such places, there should be erected towers made of 7 kinds of gems, which is the 7 characters Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. That's 7. Namu. Oh, if you don't say that mu, oh my god. It's only 6. No, it's not how it works like that. It's only when you enunciate it out, you have to say mu as a character. But anyway, Mudio, Mugen. In some words, you do the oo sound. Okay. Where were we? Okay. In all such places there should be erected towers made of 7 kinds of gems, and they should be made very high and broad and well adorned. This is why they made pagodas all over the world, because they took this all literally, not knowing what the real treasure tower was. You are the treasure tower. They thought it was like, you got to make this thing or something like that. Anyway, there is no need to enshrine the relics of the Buddha there. Why? Because in such towers, the entire body of the thus come one is already present. The thus come one and the supernatural powers of the thus come one are you. You've thus come from the ignorance into the world of actual existence, of actual awareness, which you are an infinite being from time without beginning, which is the Buddha from time without beginning. Okay, so it's already there. If you have the 7 towers, which is you, it's your life, and you are Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, and you are the treasure tower, which Gosho says from Sato Island, then it's already there. You don't need relics of the Buddha. You are the Buddha. Okay, the quote, nature of the thus come one chapter in the 4th volume of the Nirvana Sutra states, quote, and I say this, Kashapa, Mahakashapa, some places say, Kashapa is the shorter version. Oh no, there's Kashapa and Mahakashapa. Anyway, what the Buddha take, what the Buddhas take as their teaching is the law. The law is consciousness or awareness. Therefore, the thus come ones honor, respect, and make offering to it. Since the law is eternally and abiding. How many times does he have to say time without beginning? Eternally abiding is time without beginning. People say, oh, he never said time without beginning. He only said it about 50 billion times if you read all the fucking 700 or how many pages. Anyway, this one is 1,000 something. The other one's 1,000 something, about 3,000 pages of what is actually published of his millions of pages of writings, which I'm sure they couldn't find them all because some people he sent them to might have burned them or thrown them away because they were afraid of getting executed, like he was almost going to get executed anyway. Okay. It's eternally abiding. The Buddha who becomes enlightened to the law are also eternally abiding. So if you become enlightened to the consciousness that you are, that you be, the oneness that you be, then you are eternally abiding. You are from time without beginning. You are a Buddha from time without beginning, which is basically what that says right there. There's no such thing as a Buddha from time without beginning. This is only the 100th Gosho I can read it in anyway. Okay, and the great teacher Tiantai, in his method of repentance through the lotus meditation, says, quote, in the place, gotta look at the time, okay, it's 10:11. In the place of practice, one should erect a suitably fashioned dais, a stage, like the dais you see in my daughter's video where she's talking about Children's Day. Anyway, stacked up dais. Okay. You should erect a suitable dais and a placed of copy of the Lotus Sutra on it. This is my dais right here. Above this next level is my Gohonzon and Butsudan. Below level is my computer. Oh my god, I'm gonna get botchy. No, I'm trying to get a freaking computer room. That's why I took my bed and put it downstairs, because this is gonna be my new healing office, because I use it as a healing office bedroom. And anyway, I'm going back with my family. I've been let go from my self-imposed exile from my family. They're coming back from Hawaii. They're gonna be together with me. Anyway, long story. Okay, so one need not adorn it with any statues of the Buddha, his relics, or copies of other scriptures. All you need is your true self, your true beingness. Okay. Simply place a copy of the Lotus Sutra there. Now, what is the true Lotus Sutra? It is you. I am a copy of the Lotus Sutra. Here. Copy me. Okay. Anyway, question. The great teacher Tiantai in the second volume of the Great Concentration Insight states that the object of devotion for the four forms of meditation is the Buddha Amida, and the Tripitaka master Pukyong translation of the rules of ritual based on the Lotus Sutra says that one should regard Shakyamuni and many treasures Buddha as the object of devotion for the Lotus Sutra. So who's many treasures? On the Gohonzon, it shows Shakyamuni on one side, and it shows many treasures on the other side. I forget which side. Anyway, you can look it up. It's online. Okay, so many treasures is Tahoe Buddha. But it's really just the yin and the yang of the who you really truly be, because that's just, one is the physical reality and one is the spiritual reality, because Tahoe Buddha doesn't really exist in the physical plane. So it's just the two sides of the coin. That is you. You are the true being from time without beginning. You are the awakened one. You are the thus come one, and you have all the supernatural powers of the thus come one, as I said in the previous Gosha, which I'll read in many more Goshas if you haven't got it yet. Okay. That's the object of devotion for the Lotus Sutra. Okay, why do you go against their views in this matter? Answer. The view I have put forward is not my own invention, not my own invention, but is based on the sutra passages quoted above and the commentary of the great teacher Tiantai. So the great teacher Tiantai is where Nichiren got most of his ideas from. Although people say that's from the Tendai sect. That's not part of Buddhism. That's not part of Nichiren Buddhism. That's where it came from, dummies. Okay, but then in the 1500s, or was it 1600s? I can't remember. They burned the whole mountain that Tendai Buddhism pretty much occupied, killing I don't know how many, 8,000 priests. Oh, no, it was 8,000. Actually, 8,000 monasteries were on the Mount Hiei in Kyoto. And they burned the whole friggin' mountain and killed everyone. So that there went Tendai. Okay, anyway, they killed a lot of Nichiren followers too at the time. When Tiantai says that the object of devotion for the four forms of meditation is... Okay, when Tiantai says that the object of devotion for the four forms of meditation is the Buddha Amida, he means the Amida Buddha is the object of devotion for three of the four forms of meditation: constant sitting meditation, constant active meditation, and meditation in an unspecific posture for an unspecified period, which are based on the questions of Manjushri Sutra, the Sutra of Meditation to behold the Buddhas, and the invocation of Perceiver of the World Sounds Sutra. So these are all three sutras before the Lotus Sutra. These are classified among the sutras preached prior to the Lotus Sutra, in which, quote, the Buddha has not yet revealed the truth. So he says in the pre-Lotus, or the threefold Lotus Sutra, I have not yet revealed the truth, which is the sutra. Anyway, I've talked about that on many other videos, so I don't need to go back and do it. The threefold Lotus Sutra, it's free online. You can read it in English. I read it. I have it on my Kindle. My Kindle broke, so my wife, I bought her a new Kindle in Hawaii. She's going to bring it back home, because to send a English Kindle to Japan, it costs a lot of money, and try to get it from Tokyo, and there's no English Kindles around me in Niigata, because I live on the backside near Sado Island. Okay, but I'm getting out of here this year. This is my last year here. I tell you now, I'm coming out of my 12 plus year self-imposed exile near Sado Island, in the boonies of Japan. Okay, question of because you guys are finally ready. The world's finally ready for my international music tour. I thought it was going to start 12 years ago. I thought my 1 year I'd be in Japan. It was going to be the first leg of my international music tour, but the world wasn't ready, I guess. You guys are freaking a little slow. So wake up, people. Okay, the Sutra of Meditation to behold the Buddha. Okay, we already went through this. These are all not yet revealed the truth. In the case of the fourth form of meditation, half active and half sitting meditation, there are two types. The first type has the 7 Buddhas and 8 Bodhisattvas of the correct and equal sutra as the object of devotion. and is based on that sutra. The second type pays honor to the Buddha, Shakyamuni, and many treasures of the Lotus Sutra. But if we go by what is stated in Method of Repentance, the object of devotion should be the Lotus Sutra itself. Okay, so what is the Lotus Sutra? Is it the 100 or 200 different false translations of the languages in the Saha world, which are totally incomplete? No, it's the Lotus Sutra that's in your mind. We're going to get into that later because I have to go. So I'm going to stop right there. Page 788. I ear flapped my page, and I'm going to put it on my boots and I'm going to start next time on that. So stay tuned. Go back and watch the other, how many videos did I make? 9 of the one writings, which I think is the most profound. And the next one is Letter to Misawa, which is kind of restating that. But this one we're going to get into deeper. I'm going to start reading all the ones around that time when he says he finally revealed what his truth was. Okay, peace out. Love you guys. Watch my radio show. It's going to start in 10 minutes now. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm back at you guys. It is my second installment of questions and answers on the object of devotion from the second volume of the writings of Nichiren Daishonin. The writings of Nichiren Daishonin, Volume 2, published by the Sogo Gakkai. Okay, the last person said I need to get a better webcam, but I'm using HP Media Smart Webcam, which is free on this computer. This is an HP, it's a really nice HP Pavilion Entertainment PC. I can do lighting and everything, but I just prefer the natural lighting. So I got a window on this side, I got a window on that side. It's natural lighting. I can turn on this light if I wanted more lighting, but I like how it looks because I don't want you to... Let's see, if I were to shine bright light in my face, I don't like that stuff. No, turn that off. I prefer this natural lighting. Just no lights on in my room. Windows are open. Fresh breeze. Okay, so where did I left off yesterday. Here we go. But I have a nicer camera in my car, which I use for my road trip, which you can see my performing at stations where I set it up on a tripod and everything. If I get up to $200 a month on my YouTube videos, I said I would buy a new camera, a better camera, but I don't think I'll just do it for readings because it's just such a pain to set it all up. I just like to push the button on the computer and boom, it's going. And then I can just upload it to YouTube right away. I don't have to take it from the camera and put it onto my computer. Okay, so here we are. As for the statement in the Tripitaka Master Pukyong Rules of Ritual, it is based on the text of the, quote, Treasure Tower chapter, end quote. It asserts that the Lord of Teachings of the Lotus Sutra, Shakyamuni, should be the object of devotion, but this does not accord with the true intent of the Lotus Sutra. The object of devotion that I have mentioned earlier, the Daimoku of the Lotus Sutra, is the object of devotion for Shakyamuni, many treasures, and the Buddhas of the 10 directions. It represents the true intent of the devotee of the Lotus Sutra. So this is written, as I said, in 1278. Let me just double check. The year he said he completed his mission, so he's talking about the object of devotion. So if he had made some special Gohonzon at this time, he would have wrote all about it, but he never wrote about it anywhere in any of the Goshos. This is, yes, 1278, the year he said, I accomplished my mission in life, or I finished my mission in life. So, okay. Question. In Japan, there are 10 Buddhist schools: the Dharma Analysis Treasury, Establishment of Truth, Precepts, Dharma Characteristics, 3 treatises, Flower Garland, True Word, Pure Land, Zen, and Lotus schools. These schools all differ in their object of devotion. The 3 schools of Dharma Analysis Treasury, Establishment of Truth, and Precepts honor the little Shakyamuni of the inferior manifest body. The 2 schools of the Dharma Characteristic and 3 treatises have the big Shakyamuni Buddha as the superior manifest body, as their object of devotion. So this is idol worship. This is not Buddhism at all. Putting putting Shakyamuni on a pedestal, or any other Nichiren or any other high priest or any other person on a pedestal as if they're above you, that's not Buddhism at all. Buddhism is about no distinctions, which is why he said, in the end, I made a vow, or in the beginning I made a vow to make all people equal to me with no distinctions. No distinctions mean there's no hierarchy, there's no rankism, and there's no worshiping anyone, but knowing that you are the Buddha from time without beginning, which we'll get into later. The flower garland school honors the Shakyamuni of the thus come one of the reward body, who is Vairoshana on the lotus petals. The true word school honors Mahavairashana, thus come one. The Pure Land school honors Amida Buddha. The Zen school, like some of the other schools, pays honor to Shakyamuni. Why then does the Tendai school alone take the Lotus Sutra as its object of devotion? So at this time, Nichiren was considered a part of the, before he established his own school, he's part of Tendai, or Tiantai in China. That's who he followed. Answer, this is his answer. There is a reason why these other schools have a Buddha as their object of devotion, while this school, the Tendai, has a sutra as the object of devotion. So he's saying this is a school that he practices. So before calling it the Nichiren school, he called it the Tendai school. Question: what then is the reason? Which is superior, a Buddha or a sutra? Answer: as the object of devotion, one should select that which is superior. Thus, for example, Confucianism has selected the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors of antiquity as their object of devotion, which is pretty much patriotism, or nationalism, which is, according to Daisaku Ikeda in the 5th volume of the Dialogues on the Lotus Sutra, says is a cult of nationalism. And so many in Japan are Confucianist Shigotoism, but they don't know what their cult is because they think they don't have a religion, but they are Confucianism because they worship whoever's on the top tier of society. Their rankism is their motto. Okay. And in like manner, in Buddhism, Shakyamuni should be regarded as the object of devotion. Okay, so in this answer, he's saying Shakyamuni should be the devotion, but the question is that if that is so, then why do you not take Shakyamuni as your object of devotion, but instead make the Daimoku of the Lotus Sutra the object of devotion? He says, answer: you should look at the sutra passage in the commentary that I have quoted earlier. This is not a matter that I have decided for myself. Shakyamuni Buddha and Tiantai are the ones who have declared that the Lotus Sutra should be the object of devotion. And now, in the latter age, I, Nichiren too, following the example of the Buddha and Tiantai, take the Lotus Sutra as the object of devotion. I do so because the Lotus Sutra is the father and mother of Shakyamuni Buddha. The eye of the Buddhas, Shakyamuni, Mahavrashyana, and all the other Buddhas of the 10 directions. And all the other Buddhas of the 10 directions were born from the Lotus Sutra. Therefore, as the object of devotion, I now take that which is capable of bringing forth such life force. So, Buddha comes from the Lotus Sutra, he's saying. From this wisdom of the Lotus Sutra, which is, that's the book, 5th volume of the wisdom of the Lotus Sutra. It's the wisdom, it's the inherent wisdom inside you, that's the real Lotus Sutra. Okay, question. What proof can you offer to support your view? Answer. The Universal Worthy Sutra states, the Great Vehicle Sutra is the treasure storehouse of the Buddhas, the eye of the Buddhas, and the 10 directions and the 3 existences, the seed from which spring the thus come one of the 3 treasures. So the Universal Worthy Sutra is the part of the threefold Lotus Sutra, the last one, I believe. I can't remember exactly. I have that on my Kindle, and my Kindle broke, and my wife bought me a new Kindle, or I bought her a new Kindle and sent it to her in Hawaii, and she's going to bring it back next month. She comes back from Hawaii. And I'll read it again because it's a great sutra. Threefold Lotus Sutra, all three of them. Okay, and it also states, quote, this correct and equal sutra, which is talking about the Lotus Sutra, is the eye of the Buddhas. It is through this sutra that the Buddhas are able to acquire the 5 types of vision. I wrote one of my first songs, All Five Eyes. You can see right through all of mankind's endless lies. I never finished that song back in the way back in the days. I'm not going to say how long ago, because time is an illusion anyway. It's a human construct. I'm infinite, as you all are. The Buddha's 3 types of bodies are born from the correct and equal sutra. So the 3 types of bodies is the same as the threefold Lotus Sutra, is the same as the what they call it, threefold world that we live in. There's a physical aspect, there's a spiritual aspect, and then there's the entity of both, which is Honoze, Sonoze, Shonoze, Tai. Anyway, I got into that on many other videos, so I'm not going to go deep into that right now. And it also states the correct and equal sutra. Okay, this is the correct and equal sutra is the eye of the Buddhas. It is through this sutra that the Buddhas are able to acquire the 5 types of vision. A Buddha's 3 types of bodies are born from this correct and equal sutra, which is the great seal of the law that assures entry into the sea of nirvana. It is from this sea that a Buddha's 3 types of pure bodies are born. These 3 types of bodies are fields of good fortune for human and heavenly beings, and are highest among those worthy of alms. So in his final teachings of Buddhism, he states that it's the teaching, or it's the law of life, which you all possess, which is your true nature, that is actually where all Buddhas come from. And that's why you're a Buddha, because you're awakened to that state of your true self. Okay. These sutra passages indicate that the Buddhas are beings who are given birth, and that the Lotus Sutra is that which is capable of giving birth. The Buddhas are the body, and the Lotus Sutra is the soul. Therefore, in the opening eye ceremony for Buddhist wooden and painted images, only the Lotus Sutra should be used. But nowadays, in the true word school, when these 2 types of images are consecrated, the mudras and mantras associated with the Thus Come One Mahavrashana and the Honored One Buddha Eye are embodied for the eye opening ceremony. This is utterly contrary to reason, because it's utterly contrary to the true Lotus Sutra, which is the final teaching of Buddhism. Nirvana Sutra was the last sutra, but it was just a reiteration of, we already finished everything we said in the Lotus Sutra, and that was the only pure truth, and now we can leave this world. That's why Nirvana means to extinguish, go out. Okay. Like Kurt Cobain blew his head off. Whether he did or not, who knows? Probably someone else did, but anyway. Conspiracy theory part 2. Okay. My last commentary on this, our comment person said, I go too much off subject. I love going off subject. Everything's interconnected, so if you can't see the interconnected between all things in reality, you're going to be confused by my conversations on these Go Show, because I just go on all kinds of tangents and reconnect everything, because it's all connected in the big, we call them, what are they called? These little strings, string theory. It's, what do they call them? Quantum entanglements. Quantum entanglements, connecting everything together, because it's dependent origination in Buddhism. Okay, going back to question. Which is better, to take the Lotus Sutra as one's object of devotion, or to take the Thus Come One Mahavrashana as one's object of devotion? Answer. If we go by the opinion of the great teacher Kobo, Chikaku, and Chiso, the Thus Come One Mahashavana is superior and the Lotus Sutra inferior. Question. What exactly is their opinion? Answer. He's called them the great teacher because that's what the Japanese people called him at the time. Not that he thinks they're great, because he proves them all wrong. But see, he's always trying to speak at the listener's understanding, not at the understanding of his understanding, which is all Buddhists do. They tell you what you're ready to hear, not what you should be hearing. Because if they told you what you should be hearing, you wouldn't hear it anyway. Okay. Here's their opinion. Answer. The great teacher Kobo, should be quote great teacher Kobo, in his precious key to the secret treasury and treatise on the 10 stages of mind, says that the Lotus Sutra ranks 8th, the Flower Garland Sutra ranks 9th, and the Mahavrashana Sutra ranks 10th or highest. Thus, one starts with the shallower teaching and moves on to those that are deepest. The great teacher Chikaku, in his commentary on the Diamond Crown and Sujshivag, whatever sutra, can't even say it, Susu Studio, it looks like, Susiddhikara, Susiddhikara, I don't know how to say it, sutra. I'm sure there's other translations of it, and it gives an excellent English translation, so I probably heard it before in another translation. This is given the Indian, whatever, Sanskrit or whatever language it is in. Being the 9 trannies and being open to transliteration, you should be able to understand all these and even other languages, so I'm opening up to that too. It's part of the supernatural powers of the thus come one, that you all truly be. Okay, where are we? And the great teacher Chiso, in his Essentials of the Mahavrashana Sutra, placed the Mahavrashana Sutra first and the Lotus Sutra second. Question. What is your opinion? Answer. The concerted judgment of the thus come one Shakyamuni and Buddha many treasures and the Buddhas of the 10 direction is that among all the sutras preached in the past, present, and future, the Lotus Sutra is foremost. So it says that in the Lotus Sutra. It says that in the Threefold Lotus Sutra. It reiterates that in the Nirvana Sutra, that there is no other sutra that is greater than anything past, present, and future except the Lotus Sutra. Okay. Question. At present, the priests of the Tendai, True Word, and other schools throughout Japan, as well as the rulers, his ministers, and the common people, all question whether the priest Nichiren is to be regarded as superior to the great teacher Kobo, Chikaku, and Chisho. What have you to say to that? Answer. I, Nichiren, would in turn ask them if they think that the great teacher Kobo, Chikaku, and Chisho are to be regarded as superior to Shakyamuni, many treasures, and the Buddhas of the 10 direction. This is my first point. So if the many treasures and Shakyamuni and the Buddhas from the 10 directions all came in the ceremony in air and said this is the highest teaching of all the teachings, past, present, and future, then anyone who says anything that's not correct, that they're not really practicing the Buddhism that was founded by Shakyamuni or the Buddhism on this planet. They might be practicing the Buddhism on another planet. I don't know. Okay. At present, in Japan, everyone from the ruler on down to the common people is a child of Shakyamuni Buddha, the Lord of Teachings. As his dying instruction, Shakyamuni declared that one should, quote, rely on the law and not upon persons. So relying on the law means you don't praise Shakyamuni and don't praise, even though he's saying it because he's talking to the level of understanding of the people. He's saying the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni. And that's because everyone in Japan said the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, so he's just using their language to talk to them. But then he says rely on the law, not on the person, which is in the Nirvana Sutra. So the person is Shakyamuni, the law is Myoho Rengekyo, which is your life. So who's higher? The law. You. Your consciousness. Your true awareness. To proclaim that the Lotus Sutra is foremost is to, quote, rely on the law. Priests, the rulers and his ministers, the common people, as well as their servants and their oxen and horses, all those who declare that the opinion of these 3 great teachers is superior to that of the Buddhas are behaving like disobedient children, are they not? This is my second point. Okay. Question. Had the great teacher Kobo never read the Lotus Sutra? Answer. The great teacher Kobo had read the complete body of sutras, but when he came to evaluate the relative profundity of the lotus flower garland in the Mahavarshana Sutra, Mahavairosana. I always get trapped up, but that's too many vowels and too many consonants all wrapped in one. Too long of a word. It needs to be broken into like Mahavairosana, like a little hyphen or something. It's like when you get off an exit on Japan, you can. It's like they take the words, they put it all in capital letters, and it's like Kashiwazaki, and that's like frickin' so long. Kashiwazaki. They should put Kashi-Wazaki, or put K in capital and the other thing in lowercase so you can read it, but they put it all in capitals. It's like Kashiwazaki, and by the time you can try to read half of it, you like miss the exit. You're like, shit, was I supposed to get off there? Was that my exit? I always get lost in Japan because they put everything in capitals and don't put any spaces in between the words like Japanese characters, because they're using Chinese characters and they all have no space between them. Okay, anyway, Mahavarshana should be hyphenated or something because that's too long of a word for my eyes to even see. Mahavairosana. Maybe put Maha hyphen Vairosana would be easier to read. And all the other Buddhas have declared of the Lotus Sutra as... Oh, sure, let me write that again because I'm butchering it. Now, thus come one, Shakyamuni, many treasures Buddha, the thus come one, Mahavarshana, and all the other Buddhas have declared of the Lotus Sutra as it compares to all other sutras that, quote, the Lotus Sutra is foremost, and that the Lotus Sutra holds the highest place, end quote. In the end, then, it is a question of whose opinion one is to regard as authoritative, that of Shakyamuni and the Buddhas of the 10 directions, or that of the three great teachers. You should just quote it. Kobo, Jikaku, and Chisho, but he's showing that they're full of shit. Okay, which is based all the schools of Buddhism now. I've been to funerals in Japan. They're reciting these old sutras that are completely nonsensical if it's not taken within the highest sutra, the only sutra that was preached for the latter day of the law, which is now. Okay. Just because it happens also to be my opinion, it is right to reject the opinion of Shakyamuni and the Buddhas of the 10 directions, and instead to go on for so long accepting as authoritative the opinion of these three great teachers. Okay, that's all I'm going to do today because I got to get to work. But if you guys push like and share and all my videos, do that, and I can quit some of my day jobs. I have 5 day jobs. On Fridays I teach at English. I'm a professor of English at Keie Daigaku, which is Niigata University of Management. On Saturdays I do weddings. I have 3 weddings tomorrow, and then I go on my road trip. I perform at one station Saturday night, one station on Sunday night. Sometimes I do healing on Sunday morning or afternoon if I feel like it, but lately I haven't because I've been just wanting to relax, go to an own center. Actually, I go to a gym and I work out because it's cheaper than an own center. I can take a shower because I sleep in my car on the weekend. Then I come back Monday morning. I get back Monday afternoon and I have a class at Torajuku. Sounds like tragic. It's Tora meaning lion and Juku meaning cram school. I teach there Mondays and Tuesdays. Mondays every other week, and then I teach at a Buddhist temple. It's not a Lotus Sutra school. It's my friend's school, my friend's Buddhist temple. So anyway, I teach English there. I don't teach Buddhism there. Every other Monday, because my wife set it up with her friend whose husband's a priest. Anyway, it's not about teaching Buddhism or anything like that. So they have a different opinion. That's fine. I teach English there. And then on a Tuesday, okay, I teach at Torajuku. Wednesday, I teach at an English school called Sun English, which I also teach after my classes at the college tonight. I teach there. So I pretty much work every day. The only day I kind of have off is Thursday, but that's when I do my radio show, which is Thursday afternoon. No, it's Thursday, 10:30 in the morning, my time, which is Wednesday in the U.S. So I pretty much work every day. 5 day jobs and my real job, which is healing. I have clients all over the world. I do 2 or 3 sessions a day. I don't like to do more than that. I could do more, but I just I did one session this morning. I'll probably do one session tonight. When I work 2 jobs that day, and I'm driving all the way to Como and then all the way out to where am I going after that? All the way to, where's the Sun English? It's in oh, and then every Sunday, once a month, I go to band practice in Uchino. That's where I go Sun English to Uchino. So I do band practice once a month, so that's the day I do my healing call because I don't do my road trip that day. And luckily it worked out perfect because last weekend when I did the road trip, didn't do the road trip, it was raining everywhere, which I don't like to do it when it rains anyway. So if it ever rains on the second week, I'll skip out doing my road trip and go to band practice and then take off the 4th week and go on my road trip. But it looks like the weather's going to be good. I just checked it out. It's going to be raining on Sunday where I wanted to go, so I'm going to Gifu because it's going to be sunny there. So I just look at the rain schedule and I go where and the people are always there because it's the center of town, it's the train station, it's the public forum where everyone should have a soapbox to stand up and talk whatever they want because it's public space, but they're corporatizing all public space and they're getting rent-a-cops and everything, and the cops are kicking me out of stations and the trainmen are kicking me out of stations, and but anyway, I come back because I'm here to transform this reality into something else. I'm using the supernatural powers of the desk form because I am manifesting the Bodhisattva wonderful sound when I sing. Okay, peace out. I love you all. Please like, subscribe, donate if you'd like. I'll get a better camera maybe. But I think this video came out pretty good right now because it's daytime and I got the lights on me. Okay, peace out. Love you. Okay, folks, it's a week later after I did the part 2. This is part 3 of the question and answers on the object of devotion by Nichiren Daishonin. This is volume 2 of the 1,000-something pages here and 1,000-something pages in the other one, so 3,000 or 4,000 of the found and identified Nichiren writings, not the hundreds of millions of other ones that didn't get identified and couldn't get identified, and also the thousands of other ones that were burned in different temples over the years of all the warring state periods, and also all the people who were ostracized by their family for practicing, who got the letters, who burned them because they didn't want to be persecuted like most of the people in the Hara, I forget the name of the persecution place, but anyway, they had to burn their family members, even if they didn't want it. The family members, after they died, some of them burned their letters from Nichiren. So there's so many thousands and thousands and thousands of letters of Nichiren that never ever got published and won't ever get published unless you know how to do time travel, or you can probably do it with I'm learning coordinated remote viewing. I can go back in time and coordinately remote view it, but anyway, it would be hard because I would read the characters, I'd be like, I don't know what the fuck those characters mean. So it had to be someone who understands the old classic Chinese and all the stuff that he wrote in back then to remote view, which you have to sign up with the government program, a top secret military program to learn remote viewing, but I can teach you if you don't tell anyone. I'll kill you if you tell anyone. Okay, anyway, enough of that. We're gonna go on page the third one here. I got a halo on my head or something. Whoa, that's a bright light. Bright light, bright light. I look like a man in a box. What's that? The man in a box. That's anyways, the band my brother loves. Anyway, Jesus entering from the rear, fucking you in the ass. He's just another faggot with another rector rash. I don't sing those kind of songs. Those are negative. Anyway, that's what my brother likes. He likes all that old punk rock from the 80s and other stuff from the 90s that said, man in a box. I, a man in a box. You know, now you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. I look kind of like him with this light on me. I'm getting the curly hair like he did. Just gotta get the frickin' beady eyes like... I love little girls, they make me feel so good. I love... You know, what's that guy? Anyway, Boingo Boingo. But I can't remember the hard rocker, guys. My brother will tell me on the message. So post it down here if you can remind me who the hell I'm thinking of, man in a box. Okay, but that's what I look like with this light on my face, like I'm in some kind of questioning cell. Anyway, I'm reading, okay? Just bear with the lighting. The guy who posted on the last 2 other ones, he said I need better lighting, so is that good enough? Can you see me now? Like, freaking, I'm way out there. Can you hear me now? Oh, can you hear me now? And I was like, can you see me now? Okay, I'm sure you can see me. I don't need any better lighting than this. This is like the bomb lighting, man. Like my head's gonna blow up in a bomb. Okay, we left off here on page 790. Here we go. Question: the great teacher Kobo, should be in quotes because he doesn't really believe this. This is the question. It's supposed to be the guy who's questioning him about his teaching, so it's a made-up character anyway. Just like you are. Everywhere you thought you were who you thought you were, it's a made-up character because they're all pretenses of being. Because you are infinite, so there's no definition, no form, no structure, no significance, no linearity, no concentricity, no. You have to be out of form, out of definition, out of all that stuff to actually find who you truly are. But that's why they took 40 years to preach the Lotus Sutra, because it was bringing them out of the form, structure, and significance of their alternate reality that they created through their mind because they're twisted. Okay, anyway, that's a long story, so we won't get into it. Okay, but we are talking about the great teacher Kobo, so-called, because this is the question. Was a native of the province of Sanuki. I went through Sanuki to play my concerts. And a disciple of the administrator of a priest Gonso. He mastered the doctrine of the 3 treatises, Dharma characteristics, and the other of the 6 schools in the first month of the 23rd year of Enraku. Enraku era was when Enrakuji was on top of Mount Hiei. That's when they moved the teachings from Nara to the mountain of Hiei, which became the Enraku era. That's why the whole government moved with them, because they wanted to be with the priest, because the priest is where all the people are following, and that's where they're going to get the money. You know, that's what the politicians do. They follow, like, the money source. So if you want to know what the politician's coming from, like this lady, what's her name? Shillery or Killery? I killed, I went home. I'll kill your ambassadors, I'll kill your congressmen, I'll kill your whatever killing I need because I'm the killing machine. Okay, anyway, it's either that or Elmer J. Foote. I own a mansion on a yacht. I'm Elmer J. Foote. I own a mansion on a yacht. It's duck season. No, it's rabbit season. No, it's duck season. No, it's rabbit season. That's what you got. 2 fucking sides of the donkey and the fucking horse or whatever they are. Donkey and the cow or... No, is it elephant? I forget. Anyway, they're all a bunch of bullshit. It's just like these characteristic schools, but we won't get into those right now. Okay, that's how the politicians follow the money. So that's why the whole government of Japan, so-called emperor, who was like pretty much pulling the strings of the priests, he said, no, you guys can't leave me. You can't go to Enraku-ji. So this Enraku era was this time in 804. Before that, it was all Nara period. Okay, but that's how. And then they burned that whole mountain down. Enraku-ji was on the top. I went there. Kyoto. A bunch of weird shit going on there now after they burned everything and had to remake everything. 8,000 temples burned to the ground, all the whole mountain in fire. It looked like a big candle for about 5 or 6 days because they couldn't put it out. Anyway, you fuck with the shogun, you're gonna pay. That's what the time was all about. Okay. Because they started to become warrior priests. The Tendai sects became fucking warrior priests. They fucking made armies down the hill, so the fucking emperor sent all the freaking the samurais and even the fucking ninjas too, and they fucking burned down the whole mountain. Anyway, you gotta say fucking sometimes when you get really into this, because there's only so many words in the English language that really give the passion of what was actually going on. But fucking's a good one because it fits so many different, you know, it's a noun, it's an adjective, it's an adverb, it's a modifying, whatever you want to frickin', it can be a object of devotion if you want to fucking fuck all night and shit. Okay, but anyway, that's what we're not talking about that because the light's in my face. Okay, tomorrow I'm going early in the morning. I have 4 weddings. How many weddings do I have? I forget. This month's not as big as next month. Next month is where it starts picking up and really gets big. This month's only like 20 or something weddings, but I have tomorrow's the 9th. Is it not? Yes. I have 10:20 wedding, 11:10 wedding. I hate those 10:20, 12 o'clock, and 2:40. 2:40. It's 14:40 because they do military time. I hate that military time. It confuses the heck out of me. Anyway, I gotta end early because I gotta go to bed soon to get ready for weddings. And then after that, I'm going on the music tour, enlightenment tour of don't let the police search your vehicle or search your backpack or your guitar or anything else without a warrant tour, because that's what happened last weekend. They're like, I'm gonna search your stuff. I'm like, where's your fucking warrant, man? What do you think I am? Some kind of fucking cow down, bend over, and fuck me up the ass Japanese? No, I'm a foreign international diplomat. I work for Google Inc. So you better have a damn English and Japanese lawyer, and you better have a search warrant, which neither of they had, and it was a Sunday, and they were going to find all those things. So I just said, see you later. Love you. Come to my next show. I'll be at Gifu Station next week. Anyway, this week I'm going out to Toyama. I'm going to Toyama. Next day I might go to either Fukui, if it's depends on the weather switch, or I might go to back towards home, which is Nagano or Matsumoto, or I might try that little teeny station off in Matsumoto Prefecture, which I can't remember the damn name. I went to so many stations I can't remember the names, but anyway. So that's what's going on. So in case you're wondering, that's why I'm reading this now, because it's time for a nice weekend road trip. Okay. So the Enrakuji, the Enraku era, 804, he embarked for China. I'm just doing these long, like, improvisations in between, like, break it down, and then you go into, like, an improv, then you go back to the bridge, because the last guy said, I go off on too many tangents, so I'm just going to show him how to really go off on tangents. Okay, so now back to the old story. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice. Okay, so he embarked for China on the command of Emperor Kamu. Emperor Kamu, I hope you know who Kamu is. He was like the main G who brought over all the Buddhist schools and shit. He pretty much financed that, because he said, you know, I'm getting tired of like killing people and shit. Let's like learn something. You know, he was pretty cool. Okay, in China, he was ordered by Emperor Shenzong to take up residence in Xianglongkung Temple. I can't say these Chinese words. I need to get a Chinese person to teach me, but I probably still can't do it. Okay, where he received the transmission of the great true word teaching from the Reverend Hui Kyo. It's probably wrong too. The Reverend Hui Kyo was the seventh in line of those who had received the transmission from the thus come one Mahavrashana. The funny thing is, he's making these people who are asking the questions sound like so fucking like into detail, like they're super like stuck in causal reality. They're like causally incarcerated, causally. There's so much into like the fine details and the computation. All the computation go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's an algorithm interrupt of the computation to try to. I'm trying to compute like the power to the third power of the. You know, they're trying to figure out everything mentally, and that's not how you figure out. But so then when he comes back with the answer, he just like blows it all out of the water. Like, you guys are fucking. This is mental masturbation, is what they're doing, because it's fucking stupid. This is what these guys do on these websites that are called. Fraught with lies. We like tell everybody that Daisuke Ikeda is like a cult leader. No, don't talk about him. He's a cult leader. Ah, like that. They're freaks out because they have Chantika Tourette syndrome. I don't have that. Okay. So anyway, that's why these questions are all so convoluted, like so detailed, like, and he like just blows them out of the water with like one line, because they're like so like these people are. Okay, I got it all figured out, man. I worked it out. I sat home. I thought about it. I worked it out on my own. I figured it all out. Now I can be a Buddha if I just wait 5 kolpas, and I do the sitting meditation for 2 kolpas, and then 3 kolpas later, I do the standing meditation, and then I do this backwards flipping meditation where I levitate off the ground, and then finally I can say, oh, this shit's always been inside of me. Oh my god, I didn't have to go through all these kolpas of fucking bullshit to mental masturbation to finally realize who I fucking really am and who I truly be, which is who you truly be, because you are the thus come one. You are the Buddha from time without beginning, and you are the Buddha of absolute freedom. That's why we're going on an absolute freedom tour this weekend. Okay, because I'm with you and you're with me, because as the great singer who got his head shot off in New York by a guy who said, I'm acting all alone. He was programmed by the CIA and the FBI and everything to kill him. Anyway, that's a whole long story. They're coming after me too, but they don't know. I got like a bunch of different IDs and a bunch of different aliases and a bunch of wigs. Look at that. You thought that was real. It's a fucking wig, dude. Okay. Anyway, back to these fucking stupid convoluted questions. They're like, you've been to like a meeting, this guy comes up, okay man, I was in my garage, and I was chanting, and my beads, and I got the incense, and the incense smell made me like feel like I was back in the time, and then all of a sudden I couldn't like rub the beads right, and I wasn't sure if I rubbed the beads, or if I like stared at the Gohanzen for 20 minutes, or if I looked down at my beads, or if I opened the book and shut the book, and then opened it again, they're like trying to figure out like there's some fucking formula, like there's a means and a modality to realizing who you are. You just gotta fucking wake up and realize you are the fucking one you've been waiting for, bitch. Okay. Anyway, that's what he basically says. I'm gonna show you. He does it in an old-fashioned conservative way because Japanese people are so damn fucking conservative. Got me fucking like a stick up my ass all day if I feel like I salsa this, I salsa that. Anyway, here we go. The Reverend Huikyo, just giving you a little more, off the subject tangents because that's what you like and that's what you requested, even though you thought you didn't request it, because everything is the opposite of what it appears to be and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Beckham X, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Beckham X, nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Beckham X, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Beckham X, nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Beckham X, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Okay, so you thought you didn't want these tangents to go on, so you requested that I don't do that, which actually means do that if you realize everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Now, because of the 32 negations, you're actually requesting that I unwind the quantum entanglements that is making you master all the mental masturbation you think you're fucking doing to get enlightened when you're already enlightened, but you just have to freaking stick the light on your face and go, I'm enlightened, I'm enlightened, like that, okay? Anyway, back to Kobo. The great teacher Kobo, having received instruction in true word, crossed the 3,000 stormy leagues of the sea and returned to the country of Japan, where he offered the doctrine of the three sovereigns, Emperor Heise, Saga, and Juna. Sound like fucking some characters in some mythological play in Egypt or something. Anyway, Heise, that's the Japanese onyomi, kunyomi, or fucking romaji reading. It's not really the Chinese reading anyway. Saga, like who's the emperor in China? Oh, that's okay. Now we're talking about the emperors in Japan after or before. I know what we're talking about now. Okay, the great emperor, the holy Wizard of Oz, who's in the Emerald City of the Greenland of Japan. Okay, anyway, it's all a bunch of fucking idol worship. Like all these people think they're practicing Buddhism and they're fucking praying to some statue or something. It's fucking idol worship. Anyway, it's no better than the fucking Shinto or any of the other idol worships like Jesus Christ. I got Jesus on a stick, so I must be saved. The history of America and the history of most of the Western world was all genocide in the name of Jesus, but Jesus believes in love. Like, I mean, can you get more twisted in your fucking mental thinking? Okay, anyway, we're going back to another fucking idol worship school here. Okay, so Kobo, the idol worship of Kobo. On the 19th day of the first month in the 14th year of Konin the Barbarian, 823, he received an imperial order to found Joji Temple, where he propagated the secret teaching of the true school. Thus, throughout the 5 areas and 7 marches and 66 provinces and the 2 outer islands, there is no one who rings the true word diamond bell and grasp the true word diamond pounder. Boom, diamond pounder. Big pounder, diamond, we threw in the air and it landed in the other country on the mountain. Yeah, right. Fucking magical bullshit. Okay, anyway, he's the diamond pounder, man. He pounds diamonds into his head now. He throws diamond pounders across countries. Okay, here we go. So, this is the great Kobo. I have a friend named Kobo. Okay, anyway. He's great too, but don't tell him that because he believes he's not, because that's why his wife thinks he's not, because he believes he's not. But no, that's totally off the subject. Okay, the great teacher Jinkaku. So this is all still the question. This guy's like blah, 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 blah. Like you get these guys at the meeting. I was in the bathroom and I was chanting on the toilet and I was wondering if I'm gonna get bocce, because if I'm on the toilet or if my feet are facing the boots are on, I'm gonna get bocce if I sleep that way. So I'm like down underneath, the boots are on, it's on the second floor. I'm like, which way's the boots on, man? Are my feet supposed to be this way? Are my feet supposed to be this way? And they're like, come on, get fucking over it, dude. You are a Buddha. Fuck the feet facing bullshit, man. Forget the second floor, third floor. What tier am I on? Am I a fucking... Wake up, people! Okay. Wake up, white people. Wake up, Japanese. Okay, this is like the fucking stupid things that they did on these fucking brought with lies. They go on like fucking you say one question or one answer, they're like every fucking detail of fucking mental masturbation they could possibly throw out to try to convince themselves. This is the definition in this reality of sanity. The definition of sanity is to, and this is from the founder of Access Consciousness. The definition of sanity is to try to defend your point of view till your death. Defend your point of view, whether it's like my dad was great and you said my dad's bad, so I got to fight a war against you. This is like called sanity on this planet. And insanity, what's the definition of insanity? Is when you have a point of view like Japanese, like put your shoes this way, but they don't know why. So insanity in this reality is when you have a point of view and you defend it to the last breath and you don't even know why you defend it. Like, is the emperor a god, or why are we're doing kamikaze because we're this wind? What's this? No one understood what the fuck they're doing. They're just crashing planes and they're like, well, who's in charge? It's not really him, or is it him, or who is it, or what are we doing, or who are we fighting, or this is like the whole fucking history of Japan. Like they're like, oh my god, like what do we do, man? Like they should be like smoking a big fatty, but they're too stupid. They're like fucking trying to figure it out with the conscious mind, man. Okay, but anyway, we're gonna go back to the three. Where are we going to end with? This is the question. This is like, you can go past the whole fucking question because it's a bunch of bullshit. And he's basically, when he gets to the answer, he's going to say like, you've been fucking masturbating the whole time, throwing out all this bullshit like you actually know something, and I'm just going to tell you what the truth is here, bucko. So let's just go past all this because I regurgitated this fucking question about 1,000,000 times and it never makes any sense, and that's the whole point of fucking asking it, because you're like, I'm really smart, like I'm a lawyer, and I'm gonna like say all these words you don't understand so like I can prosecute you, but you don't know what I said because I really didn't say anything, but you think I said because I was, you don't know the language I'm using. So this is what this question, like, this guy's, got a big diamond, throws it from fucking China and it lands on a mountain in India because he's that great guy, Kobo, and everything. So the answer is just real simple. Okay. Answer. In the 1,000 years following the demise of Shakyamuni, the Lord of Teaching, Buddhism spread throughout India. In the first 500 years, it was the Buddhism of the Hinayana, or lesser vehicle, while in the following 500 years, it was that of the Mahayana, or great vehicle. The Hinayana and the Mahayana teaching, and the provisional and the true teaching contended with each other, but at that time, there was no clear-cut distinction between the exoteric and the esoteric. Exoteric outside, you can understand it because you're part of the exoteric, or esoteric is the people who are initiated into the cult mentality, like groupthink. But you're not in our group, so you can't know, so you're not part of the esoteric. Okay, so in and out, that's what the esoteric and exoteric is all about, in case you didn't know what the fucking words meant. Okay, so 50 years after the beginning of the middle day of the law, Buddhism was introduced to China. At first, there was much controversy between the teachings of Shakyamuni and those of the Confucian and Taoist schools with the T. Of course, Taoist is pronounced D with the T, because that's Chinese American, Anyway, we won't get into why the D came a T and a T came a D, and why fucking it was Constantinople and then it became Timbuktu and then it became Constantinople and it became Timbuktu and it became and soon it became Timbuktu and Constantinople, because it's really, no matter what name you give a rose, it's going to still smell sweet. That's what Sir Francis Bacon said in his plays he put under that guy Shakespeare. Okay, so we're back to the middle day of the law here in China. That's when, after 1,000 years of all this conflict between two schools, finally it landed in China, and they finally figured out what's the difference between the two schools and what is the inferior and what is the superior. And it's basically like black and white, day and night, because once you realize the inferior is all about idol worship and the fucking superior is all about realizing there's no idol, it's you. You're the Buddha from time without beginning. It's pretty simple. It doesn't really take a master. It doesn't take a fucking degree in astrophysics or freaking brain chemistry to figure out that you are everything you ever will be, and you ever will be is all the future, and everything you've ever been through all time, space, dimensions, and realities you are now, because there is no time and space, and you are spaciousness of the infiniteness that is you, the Buddha of absolute freedom. Okay, but these people think there's actually, this whole threefold reality makes us think there's past, present, and future, but there's not. It's just the moment. That's why it's Ichinen Sanzen. One single moment contains the past, present, and the future, and all the other worlds and all the other 10 factors of life and all that, because you are that you are. I am that I am. I am what I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. No, I be that I be, because just like the Bible said, I am that I am. It's you are who you are, and there's never going to be a better you than you are now. But so as soon as you wake up to who you really be, it's not the fucking thing you think you are, and you realize you're really better than everyone else you've ever told yourself you were, which are all pretenses of being, and the true being is infinite, which is you. You won't have to be mental masturbating with these stupid questions that this guy's asking. So anyway, we're going back to the answer, which is not mental masturbation. It's just straightforward. None of this diamond throwing across the worlds and shit. Okay. 600 years after Buddhism was introduced to China, the reign of Emperor Huangshuang. That's like that song, Wang Chung tonight or something. Shuang Chung tonight. His name is spelled H-S-U-A-N-T-S-U-N-G. Shuang Shang. Everybody Shuang Shang tonight. Everybody Lang Chung tonight. Everybody Shuang Shang tonight. Okay. The three Chepitraka masters, San Wu Wei, Qin Kang Che, I can't pronounce that either, and Pukung, came to China from India and established the True Word School. Therefore, the Flower Garland, Lotus, and the other earlier schools were treated with marked dislike, and everyone from the Sarvan on down to the common people believed that the True Word teaching and the Lotus Sutra are as far apart as clouds and mud. Later in the reign of Emperor Taitsung, can't say that either, a man called the Great Teacher, Miaolo, I can kind of say that because I've heard it actually more than once, perceived that the True Word teaching are vastly inferior to the Lotus Sutra, but he did not express his opinion persistently, and thereafter there was no one who attempted to establish the relative worth of the Lotus Sutra and the True Word School. Anyway, he's going to go on to talk about how finally Tiantai figured it all out, and he devoted his life to figuring it all out, and it's perfectly laid out. If you follow every one of the sutras, it's like a freaking roadmap to the final teachings, which is you. That's all they were talking about, is you. The whole time you thought it was like this other guy on this fucking planet out in outer space, and breaking it up into dust and traveling east and dropping every 10 times 100 times 1,000 times 10 to the 56 power times 10 to the 64th power of major world systems, and Gohyaku Jintengo and Kuon Gonjo, and you thought it was all about those things, but that was actually just a story about you, because that's just a partial bit of who you truly be, which you don't want to fully claim on and acknowledge because you're scared shitless. But actually, I'll tell you the truth, the scared shitless of who you think you might be, if you were willing to step into who you truly be, that's going to be the stage of life that is the grand finale of who you've been waiting to be for 40 million years, is actually excitement. It's not fear at all. So you've been just the chemically and electromagnetically, or however you say it, the brain perceives the excitement and fear as almost the same frequency of energy. So you hardwired your brain a long time ago, because that was how, when you were fucking like the cow and shit, and like the fucking other guy comes in with the belly club, it's like a bone of a deer, and hits you over the head because you were fucking his cow. You kind of fucking miscalculated, like, okay, I was fucking the cow and I was feeling good, and that's exciting. But then someone hit me over the head with a club because I was fucking his cow. And then you realized you kind of, synapses kind of fired the wrong way, and you think fear is actually excitement, and excitement is fear. but it's actually one and the same. So everywhere you are afraid to be who you truly be, which is the Buddha from time without beginning, which is the Buddha of absolute freedom, which has the supernatural powers of the thus come one eternally endowed in their 5-foot body, or it's actually, it goes out, emanates into the all 10 directions. So the 5-foot body is just a crystallization temporarily in the form, which is the threefold reality: form, nature, or what is it? Appearance, nature, and entity. So it's the appearance and nature of this little 5-foot body, but the nature of it emanates out in all directions, in the 10 directions, both down, up, and sideways and left, and screwball turn out into the middle multiverse, wherever you want to put it. All of that is you. That's the true being that is you, that is infinite, that is from time without beginning, because there is no beginning and no ending to time. There really is no time. That's just an illusion. But anyway, that's what actually the girl sitting in the treasure tower ceremony said. Oh my God! She just heard one word and she realized who she truly be is, and it's not a horned dragonfly girl. No, she's the Dragon King's daughter. But she realized who she really is. That was just a character she was playing in this great drama called life, which you're playing a character that thinks they're worthless and pathetic, and I have to pray to some freaking priest, or I have to pray to some guy on a stick, or I have to pray to some statue, or I have to, genuflect before the almighty corporations of America and bow down to TPP to have some money to put in my pocket. Whatever you guys think, you don't need any of that shit, because you are infinite. Okay, so I love you all. I gotta wake up early, sing some weddings, go on my road trip. I'll be back after the weekend, maybe make a follow-up to this. I don't have, I go off grid when I go on my road tour, so I don't have a iPhone, iBrain, I don't have a smartphone, I don't have internet access. I just go off because I follow the energy, and sometimes I want to go to this station, I go to that station. Sometimes I want to go to that station, I go to this station, because I'm just gonna go where I feel the energy's pulling me, because I'm meeting a lot of incredible people who are opening up the path for the future in my road trip of life. So anyway, be square, be care. That just rhymes. But be caring and be loving, because that's really, I like the other person's post on the last video that I commented on, that she says, yes, you gotta have compassion. So that's why I'm actually making these videos, because you think I'm saying all these negative words, but it's not really negative. It's because everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. But you think it's negative because you distorted your thinking into thinking words can be evil and words can be good. Words are just words. They're just letters put together, and they make sounds, and the sounds make meanings, and the meanings are whatever you want to perceive them to be, because all definitions are limitations, and all language is a limitation. So the real language is the one that you perceive. Why you watched all the way this far, because you perceive there's something beyond what I could have said in the language of Baconian English, which is what we speak nowadays. We don't speak English, we speak Baconian. But anyway, I'll give it a little bit of, since he was from England, Sir Francis Bacon, and he wrote a lot of plays and he wrote a lot of books, that those are the only two things written at that time who had the same words that were created by him. So he created it like 8,000 words or more it made the English language an international language, because it was the backwaters of Europe, and it was just like total shithole. And that's why all the plagues rang through it and killed everyone, because they were just like filthy, stinky, terrible food. It's the reason why, it's still come a long way. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, that's why he created a language, to finally get them out of the backwaters, because if language is definitions and definitions are limitations, the more you can create to get out of the limitations of the language you speak and the words you use, the more you can start getting to the infiniteness you truly be. So he created a language that created an empire, and an empire created an international community of, what are we? We are oneness. The guy who got shot in the head in New York, which I didn't say his line, I was waiting until now, I was waiting for you guys to be ready for it, is I am he, as you are he, as you are me, and we are all together. And you thought that was just gibberish, but that is actually the truth. I am you, and you are me, and you are he, and you are she, and she is he, and he is me, and me is you, and we are all together. So just know that the oneness that you truly be, that's why it's called Funi, Shiki Shin Funi, the oneness of body, and oneness of Shiki Shin, heart and mind, Esho Funi, the oneness of the environment and the person, Stay Funi, the oneness of mentor and disciple. It's all about oneness, Funi, not two, because we're not two. We're not separated. There's no separation. You are me and I am you, and he is. Everything you want to worship is you. So if you want to put a guy on a stick, worship him. If you want to put a freaking statue of a fat guy and worship him, you're just deluding yourself that you are not him and he is not you, because you are not oneness, because you are not Funi. So all the Funi you're not willing to be, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of the imposed quantum entanglement or Mobius strips and mental masturbation that keeps you from thinking you are not me and I am not you? Okay, peace out. I gotta go to bed. I was named after Timothy Leary. I don't take LSD, but my father and my brother did a lot of LSD throughout the days. I didn't get into that stuff, but I still inherited some of that openness that the pupils open. So all it really takes is a meditation to open your pupils. That's all really, that toxic mimic of the true medicine of the native people of the world, which is peyote and the cactus I have in my window there. That's you see in a lot of the videos. That's a medicinal cactus, which is hallucinogenic. That's called San Pedro, which is it sells in all the different stores around here in Japan and every country. It's a little harder to take than ayahuasca, much harder than ayahuasca takes a long time, but it's harder because it's just so damn disgusting. If you drink it, you're gonna throw up and throw up and throw up, and if you do it enough, you're gonna start seeing pretty colors, but it's not really worth it. But we tried it at Soka University, and we were riding bicycles, me and about 3 or 4 people in the first class of the SUA 2005 and 2 or 3 people in the 4th class of SUA did the San Pedro until we almost threw up. And we were flying down this mountain into the canyon, and I went back that way. I don't know how we levitated over the fields, because there was all these rocks and there was all these fences and all this stuff, but somehow we rode down the mountain with going over the fences, going over the rocks, going over the tumbleweed, going over the foxes and the sheep and all the other pretty things that were like, and the rainbow frequency was like flowing in and out of consciousness, and we were like dancing with the woolly masters, and we were dancing with the wolves. I used to sit out on my balcony at Soka University of America and go, "Arr!" And all the wolves in the canyon would go, "Arr!" And then after about doing it for about a half hour, we would have this conversation. All the guys in the dorm, either this dorm or that dorm or the dorm above me or the dorm below me, like, "Shut up, Tim, we're fucking studying, man." I'm like, okay, I can't fucking talk with the wolves and shit. Okay, anyway, I do talk to wolves. I'm an energy healer, but I'm also an animal healer, so if you want me to talk to your cats or dogs, watch my videos on energy healing with cats and dogs, because I do talk their languages. If you're willing to be transliterate, you can talk in every language. So I'm not fully willing yet to be transliterate in the Japanese language, because it's just so anal. I don't really like the analness of it. That's why I kind of, one side of my brain just like shuts it down. No, I don't want to go to the left side, freaking analytical bullshit side. I want to open up to the fucking creative. Like, the language for 600 or 700 years hasn't changed almost at all. They like threw a little bit of kire, ache. They added like a little bit of fluctuations. No, fluctu British. Okay, not fluctuations. What are they? They changed just a little bit of ending of some of the words. And they took the ba, which is Bang Kyampin, my legal name, and they changed it, the u to wa, va to wa. That's what they did. So that's as much change as they made. Va and wa, and a little on the end of and sa maybe at some of the words that they didn't use 1,000 years ago. That's how much the language has changed. That's why I can't stand thinking about Japanese, because I download the fucking program and it's all fucking like just stuck in this linear program of time. Like, time doesn't ever change here, man. It's like fucking they don't change their underwear. Anyway, I don't want to talk about. I don't even wear underwear. Actually, I do today, because I got my Rebel Yell shirt that I got at the thrift store, and I got my SpongeBob underwear. I hardly ever wear underwear, but today I'm wearing my SpongeBob underwear, because my friends in Japan said it's imitation SpongeBob. It's not the real SpongeBob. So I'm not into like fucking logos and shit like that. So no logos here. This is fake SpongeBob. Okay, it's not the real SpongeBob. Anyway, you're the real SpongeBob if you haven't figured it out yet. But anyway, I gotta go. Gotta go to bed. Okay, my hair is a little wake up hair. Crazy. Anyway, I'm back at you. I was supposed to be on a road trip this weekend, but I'm going tonight just to Nagano Station because last night I drove to Toyama Station, and almost three-fourths of the way there I noticed I didn't bring my suitcase, which this is the second time it's happened in a couple years. No, it happened about 2 years ago. If I don't bring my suitcase, it doesn't have my CDs, it doesn't have my tip jars, it doesn't have my stage, which is my magic carpet, which I've used for the last almost 20 years playing concerts, and it doesn't have my my music, which I can only remember about 12 songs, and I have 700. I have about, I'd say, 500 or 600 songs that I play if I get requests, and it would be really hard just playing those 7 songs over and over. Those are the only ones I remember by heart. Even my own songs, I think I only remember 1 or 2 of my own songs by heart. I have to look at my own lyrics and my own chords because I can never remember the chords. Well, I remember some of the chords, but I have to look at them occasionally. So I'm going to need a band to back me up on my world tour, and they're going to have a prompter. I saw an interview, the 20th anniversary of Peter Gabriel's, what concert was it? I think it was the So concert when he first got a official big record label when they wanted to finally name his albums, because his first 3 albums were just called Peter Gabriel, Peter Gabriel, Peter Gabriel. All 3 were Peter Gabriel. So then he got a big record label and they said, no, we need to put a name on it. So they put So in the next one. Every album after that was Us, So, We, Them, or whatever. He always used 2 letters, that's all, for his album name. Yeah, so... But anyway, he said in the 20-year anniversary interview, or concert interview, someone said, on the song Biko, you changed the words to this, and why did you do that? Was that purposeful? And he says, no, I can never remember my lyrics, which is good. He says, now we have prompters, so good thing I'm born in the prompter generation, because I would be like making up words for my own songs. I make up words for my songs all the time anyway, just to make it more exciting. But anyway, I'm going to read a little more of this Scotia, because last time I went off topic too many times, didn't I? I had a fun time reading last time. Question and answer about the object of devotion. Okay, where did I leave off? Oh, that's background area. I didn't read all the way to there. Oh, here I am. Okay, I have a folded page where... Okay, yeah. This is where he's using expedient means. Okay, so later in the reign... This Scotia's just... Anyway, some of these Scotias just get more into the historical and all these names that you can't remember. So anyway, they get kind of boring. But later in the reign of Emperor... This is the 4th installment, I do believe. In the later of Emperor Taechung, a man called the Great Teacher Miaolo perceived that the true word teaching are vastly inferior to the Lotus Sutra, but he did not express his opinion persistently, and thereafter there was no one who attempted to establish the relative worth of the Lotus Sutra and the true word teaching. In Japan, in the time of the 13th sovereign, Emperor Kimmei, Buddhism was first introduced from the Korean kingdom of Pekche. Can't say that. At first, there was violent controversy between Buddhism and the indigenous belief in gods that continued for more than 30 years. Then, in the reign of the 34th sovereign, Empress Suiko, Prince Shotoku first propagated the Buddhist teachings throughout the country. So for the first 30 years that Buddhism was introduced to Japan, there was violent opposition. It says violent controversy between Buddhism and indigenous beliefs of Shintoism, the gods. Okay, so everyone likes to think Buddhism is the only religion that has never had a violent history, but unfortunately, because people think they're practicing Buddhism and they're not. They're practicing idol worship and other inferior teachings, mixing it with Buddhism and not knowing what's the difference, which is why I'm doing these Scotia readings, because people still worshiping the Buddha as if that's Buddhism. That's not Buddhism. That's another religion calling itself Buddhism. So people always revert to idol worship, and it destroys their religion, because the truth is it causes separation when you put someone above you and someone below you, and there's no separation. That's why they call it funi. As I said a million times, it's two but not two. Okay, then so this Shotoku guy, he finally propagated all over. He was the prince of Empress Suiko, Sui, water, cold girl, water girl. Okay. At that time, two honorable priests from the state of Peche, Ekan and Konroku. So anyone who thinks Japan doesn't owe a total thanks to Korea for bringing Buddhism, and China for really establishing the final teachings of Buddhism, fully classifying it into the final teachings of Buddhism of the Lotus Sutra. They have such a historical legacy to thank them for. So it's crazy that Japan would go and attack Korea and attack the rest of China and Asia, not realizing that how much they owe to those countries. Anyway, so these two priests from the Peche Empire, which is Korea, disseminated the doctrine of the three treatises schools in the reign of Emperor Kotoku. Dosho introduced the Zen school, and in that of Emperor and Momu, the priest Chiho from the Korean kingdom of Silla introduced the Dharma characteristic school. In the reign of the 44th sovereign, Empress Gensho, the Tripitaka master Sanmu Wei brought the Mahavrashana Sutra to Japan, but he did not remain to propagate its teaching. In the reign of Emperor Shomu, the preceptor Shinjo and the administrator of priest Roben introduced the flower garland school. In the reign of the 46th sovereign, Empress Koken, the Reverend Ganjin from Tang, China, introduced the precept school and the Lotus Sutra. He worked to propagate the doctrine of the precept school, but not those of the Lotus Sutra. So people in Japan weren't ready for the truth. They were into all these inferior teachings. And classifying as inferior and superior isn't separation. It's just the only teaching that teaches non-separation and no distinctions, which is separation and rankism, is the Lotus Sutra. So to say that the other sutras are lower or inferior and the Lotus Sutra is higher is not separation. If you understand the Lotus Sutra and understand that you are the Buddha from time without beginning, and there's no distinction and no separation between you and the Buddhas, the millions of Buddhas throughout all 10 directions and all through time, space, dimensions, and realities, then you can go back and read the lower sutras and realize within the higher sutras they actually make sense, but taken individually as a partial truth, they give you a very distorted image of what reality is. So that's why they're called inferior or Mahayana, Hinayana. Even the ones that call themselves Mahayana are really a lower vehicle compared to the Lotus Sutra, because it says in the Lotus Sutra it's the highest vehicle. It's the only direct vehicle to your awakened state from time without beginning. Okay, so here we go. Where were we? Okay. "15 years. Oh, here we go. No. I forgot where I am. But okay, here we are. In the reign of the 15th sovereign, Emperor Kamu, in the 7th month of the 23rd year of Enraku, 804, the great teacher Dengyo journeyed to China on imperial command. There he met with Tao Tsui, and Shuangmang, whatever that is, two guys, who were disciples of the great teacher Miaolo, and received from them the teaching pertaining to the meditation and wisdom of the Lotus Sutra. From the disciplined master Dao Hyung, he received the Bodhisattva precepts, and from a priest called the Reverend Shun Shua, I can't say any of these Chinese words, he received instruction in the secret teaching of the true word, after which he returned to Japan. On the basis of the introduction he had received from his teacher in China, Dengyo felt that it was difficult to determine the relative superiority of the true word in the Lotus Sutra doctrine. We therefore undertook to compare the Mahavarshana Sutra. He therefore undertook to compare the Mahavarshana Sutra and the Lotus Sutra with each other, as well as the commentaries on the two sutras, in order to determine their relative worth. He not only came to the conclusion that the Mahavarshana Sutra is inferior to the Lotus Sutra, but he also pointed out that the author of the annotations on the Mahavarshana Sutra had appropriated key concepts from the great teacher Tiantai and incorporated them in the teaching of his own school. So what happened is when the Lotus Sutra was finally determined in China and other places to be the final teachings of Buddhism, the other schools started appropriating their teachings into their school, even though it had nothing to do with the sutras that they were using as so-called their doctrinal proof of their school. So they were saying this is from this sutra, but it wasn't from the sutra. It's only from the Lotus Sutra that they were taking these final teachings. And this is where Buddhism got all totally distorted, and reason why there was so many calamities and things going on during this time. Okay, later, the great teacher Kobo, disgruntled that the True Word Sutras had been assigned to an inferior position, worked to establish the True Word School, which regarded the Lotus Sutra as inferior not only to the Mahavarshana Sutra, but inferior to the Flower Garland Sutra as well. Also, alas, if Jikaku and Chiso had not allowed this interpretation to be accepted at Mount Hiei and Onjoji, then these mistaken views of the great teacher Kobo would never have spread throughout Japan. So Mount Hiei was the center of Buddhism for so long. That's where Nichiren went to go practice at before he came back to Kamakura and started propagating his teaching. He went to the center of all Buddhism, which is Mount Hiei. As I said before, got burned down with 8,000 temples burning in the Warring States period. These two great teachers, Jikaku and Chiso, did not go along with Kobo's assessment of the Lotus Sutra as inferior to the Flower Garland Sutra, but they fully agreed with his view that the Lotus Sutra is inferior to the True Word School, or the True Word teaching, and thus, astounding as it may seem, acted as arch enemy of the founder of their school, the great teacher Dengyo. So the Dengyo was the teacher of the Tendai sect in Japan on Mount Hiei, which is why that became the center of all Buddhism, because it was practicing finally the highest teaching of Buddhism, which is the Lotus Sutra. But their people who followed the Tendai sect totally bastardized it later on, as after he died, and Tendai became a school of warring monks that tried to fight for their own mountain autonomy from the shogun until they got all burned down. Okay, so anyway, you twist Buddhism and you become a warring monk and not a peaceful person like Nichiren, who fine, kill me if you want to kill me. You can kill me. You can't kill what I'm saying, because the truth will live on forever, he said. And they tried to kill him, but they couldn't kill him. Okay, in the ages that followed, though among the eminent Buddhist priests of Japan there were some who were very wise and learned, None could match the three great teachers, Kobo, Jikaku, and Chiso. Thus, for over 400 years now, everyone in Japan has accepted the opinion that the true word teachings are superior to the Lotus Sutra. To be sure, at times there have been persons who, in studying the doctrine of the Tendai school, have come to realize that the true word teaching can never measure up to the Lotus Sutra. But out of fear of offending the chief priests of the Tendai school or the prelates of Ninnaji Temple, they have refrained from speaking out. Others, though not as discerning as they should have been, have ventured to suggest that the true word teaching and the Lotus Sutra should be regarded as of equal worth. But the true word teachers have uniformly condemned this view as absurd and laughed it to scorn. As a result, all of the several 100,000 temples and shrines throughout Japan have come to belong to the True Word School. And that's why he says that there was famine, earthquake, tsunamis, everything happened at this time. Massive drought, massive hurricanes, just one after another, earthquakes. Everything was happening during this era, and people were dying like crazy. And there was warring between the people. And why he predicted the last two of the 7 disasters would happen, and they happened during his life, which were foreign invasion, which never happened in Japan, military invasion from the Kublai Khan, the Mongols. Okay. Even in the rare case a temple honors the Lotus Sutra along with the True Word School, the latter is regarded as the Lord and the former as a retainer of the Lord. And if persons study the doctrine of the two schools, at heart they uniformly consider themselves belonging to the True Word persuasion. Whether the position is that of chief priest, chief official, temple supervisor, or superintendent, the persons occupying such positions are all true word teachers, and since those in inferior positions all customarily imitate the preferences of their superiors, because this is the cult of Japan, it's all about rankism. My superior said this, I gotta follow him. Okay, there is not one person in an inferior position who is not a true word priest. Hence, throughout Japan, though people may recite with their mouths the words, the Lotus Sutra is foremost, in their minds they think it is the second in rank, or it is the third in rank, or they will affirm with body, mouth, and mind together that it is second or third in rank. For the past 400 years and more, there has not been a single person who, as a practitioner of the Lotus Sutra, has affirmed with all 3 categories of action through the body, mouth, and mind that, so thought, words, and deeds are the 3 actions, and actions mean karma. So any action brings good or bad karma. And that's the good thing about Buddhism, is there's good karma, because I create lots of good karma every day, and I've created it for the last 5 or 6 lifetimes, so I have massive good karma coming to me every day, because I just create the goodness of everything that's good. And it is good. It's so good to be good. I worked for Bob Baker, Chrysler, Plymouth, Volkswagen in Carlsbad, California when I was about 20 years old, and the theme was, it's so nice to be nice. Okay, Bob Baker, Chrysler, Plymouth, VW. Okay, for the past 400 years and more, there has not been a single person who, as a practitioner of the Lotus Sutra, has affirmed with all 3 categories, the actions, those of body, mouth, and mind, that the Lotus Sutra holds the highest place. And much less has there been any practitioner who, as the Lotus Sutra says, quote, can uphold the sutra, end quote. The sutra states, since hatred and jealousy toward this sutra abound, even when the thus come one is in the world, how much more will this be so after his passing, end quote. So, of course, everyone is going to ridicule the final truth, because it was even ridiculed during the time of Shakyamuni when he was teaching it. And that's why the 5,000 Inchantikas that now have Inchantika Tourette's, who are always bastardizing what I say on their Fraught with Lies websites, will still not understand that they are Buddhists from time without beginning, like was completely preached during the ceremony of the era. And that's why the Dragon King's daughter was dancing and singing, because she knew she was already the Buddha from time without beginning. She didn't need to change anything, exactly as she is, horns and all. Okay, I have one horn right here, big bump. I might get another horn over here, like be a demon. Anyway, let's go back. Okay, where did I leave off? Yes, here we are. All living beings in this age, after his passing from the supreme ruler on down to the multitude of common people, are arch enemies of the Lotus Sutra. I, Nichiren, was born in the province of Awa, and the 12th of the 15th province of Tokaido, the son of a fisherman in Kataomi, wow, in the village of Tojo, the district of Nagasa. At the age of 12, I was sent to the mountain temple called Seichoji. So first he went to Seichoji, but finally he went to the head of the Tendai school at Mount Hiei in the same village when I took up residence. So he started becoming a priest at 12 years old. But though it was called a temple, since it was located in such a district and outlying province, there was no one there who was capable of giving me proper instruction. I thereupon took it upon myself to go about to various other provinces, studying as I went along. Being a person of limited ability, however, and having no one to teach me, I found it difficult to determine the exact origin of the 10 schools of Buddhism and their relative worth. So he decided on his own, 12 years old. Can you imagine? Travel all over on foot to all the temples and read all the sutras he can get his hands on. Like I'm doing all over Japan. I've been to like 50 different libraries trying to find all the history of Japan and all the things I can in English. It's very hard to find English books on these things, but you slowly, they come to you. It's weird. If you just call out to them, they slip off shelves and fall out at you. Okay, I'm serious. Okay, mysterious things happen in libraries when I go around. Not an earthquake yet, but there's been earthquakes when I was near libraries. As it happened, I prayed to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that I would gain an understanding of these matters, and made a thorough study of all the sutras and treatises, and on that basis examined the doctrine of the 10 schools. As a result, I may state that the Dharma Analysis Treasury School, though shallow and inferior to some degree, accords with the teaching of the Hinayana Sutras. The establishment of Truth School represents a mixture of Hinayana and Mahayana doctrine, and contains errors and misconceptions. The Precept School originally followed the Hinayana teaching, but later it adopted those of Provisional Mahayana, and now everyone regards it as a Mahayana school. There is also the Precept School that the great teacher Dengyo established, but that is separate from the ordinary Precept School. The Dharma Characteristics School was originally a shallow and inferior doctrine devised from the Sutra of Provisional Mahayana, but it gradually developed and expanded until it stood side by side with the other schools of Provisional and True Mahayana, and even attempted to defeat the other schools. It is like the military leader Masakado and Sumitomo of Japan, men of inferior rank who attempted to overthrow their superiors. So these two guys tried to overthrow the government and got killed for doing it. The Three Treatises School is likewise a type of Provisional Mahayana, teaching a version of the doctrine of non-substantiality, though it thinks of itself as representing true Mahayana. The Flower Garland School is also a type of Provisional Mahayana, but superior to the other schools mentioned, being comparable in rank to the Regent or prime minister in the imperial government, but because it is founded on doctrines that are inimical to the Lotus Sutra, it is like a subject or government official who attempts to rank with the sovereign. He's totally talking about the rankism of Japan, which is slowly being stripped away. But anyway, so much rankism in Shigotoism, rankish Shigotoism, which is the religion of Japan. Okay. The school known as Pure Land is a division of Provisional Mahayana, but Santao and Honen cleverly deceived people by relegating the other sutras to an impossible, exalted position and declaring the meditation and other Pure Land sutras to be easily accessible, relegating the capacities of people of the former and middle day of the law to an exalted position, and those of the people of the latter day of the law to a subordinate position. They declared that the Nembutsu practice is suitable to the capacity of people of the latter day of the law, catering to the people's capacity and destroying the message of the sutra. They ignored the true teaching of the sacred teachings expounded by the Buddha during his lifetime and reduced all to one practice of the Nembutsu, which is Namu Amida Butsu. So this is why Japan has had such suffering with such destruction, because it totally perverted the whole idea of the teachings of Buddhism and totally made it a laughingstock of the world. The school is thus comparable to a person of clever mind but lowly position who attempts to elevate his position, who pays respect to those who are foolish but ignores persons of real worth. The school known as Zen claims that there is a doctrine of truth that is separate from the sacred teachings of the Buddha's lifetime. It is like a person who slays the father but makes use of the son, or like a retainer who slays his lord and then usurps the lord's position. The school known as the true word is one great fabric of lies, but because it has gone to such lengths to conceal its origins, people of shallow capacity have difficulty in perceiving this fact. Thus, for many years now, they have been deceived and misled by it. To begin with, there is no school called True Word in India, although the proponents of True Word claim that there is. If so, they should produce proof to support their claim. In any event, the Mahavrashana Sutra has been transmitted to Japan. If we compare it with the Lotus Sutra and ask, what are their relative merits, we find that the Mahavrashana Sutra ranks 7 levels lower than Lotus Sutra. The proofs are clearly seen when we put the two sutras side by side. I will not bother to cite them here because he cited them all over before. Okay, so we're going to end right there because that's enough for today. We have we have 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the background, 4 more pages. And how many have we done? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're about, I'd say, 2/3 finished with the book, with this writing. Okay, we'll go on more writings after this, and I'll give you more commentary on it. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed my craziness on my last video. I won't be that crazy anymore. That was a late night thing. I came home from a long trip. Okay, peace out. Love you all. See you later. Please put likes, subscribe, and all the other stuff so I'll make more videos and comment. And just don't tell any lies about me and other people, and I won't delete you like the people I've deleted. Okay, peace out. Gotta be very, very quiet because we're hunting rabbits. Let me turn off the fan so you can really hear me. No, it's late night and I got the windows open because it's kind of a cool breeze coming in here. You can hear the cars going by on the bypass road next to my house, but I'm going to be quiet because my wife's family's next door with their windows probably open because it's been cooler at night. They haven't used air conditioning. I haven't used my air conditioning lately, which is kind of cool because I hate sleeping with air conditioning. But it's soon going to be the sauna season where we have to sleep with air conditioning just to survive. But for now, I'm going to take advantage of this. And we got some magical Tampopo flying in the wind here. Okay, so here we go. This is the 5th installment. I don't know if we'll get finished with the Scotia because we did 4 installments to get about 2/3 into it, so we probably won't. But anyway, let's just be open to the infinite possibilities of what could happen if time can slow down, or if, since time is not really real, it's a human construct, what we can do. Let's see. Okay, despite this is the 5th, as I said, installment, so go back and watch the 4 first ones of this, which is the question and answers on the object of devotion, because you're wondering, what is the object of devotion? Is it me? Is it he? Is it she? Is it we? Is it it? Is it, who, what, when, where, how, why? The who, the what, the who, the what is who you truly be. But the why, the how, and the when, I said that wrong. The who, the what, and the where is who you truly be. But the why, the how, and the when is all implanted. So it's not really your true being. So if you can get past all the implants of the why, how, and when, you can be that you truly be, that you always have been. Okay, we'll get into that on another one because that's going to fry your brain if I get into it right now because it's late at night. So it's going to fry my brain too, and I won't be able to go to sleep because I'll be like frickin' seeing pretty colors and frickin' dancing with magical reindeers flying over fucking elves and shit. Okay, anyway, I didn't just say that. That was your imagination. Okay, despite all this, some proponent of the True Word School claim that the Mahavrashana Sutra is thrice the sovereign of the Lotus Sutra. So thrice, if you guys don't know Baconian English, is 3 times. 3 times that of the Lotus Sutra. It's like triple plus good. Is that what Orwell would say? Triple plus ungood, which is really, really bad. Okay. Anyway, it's thrice that of the Lotus Sutra. But I don't agree with that, and he doesn't agree with that. And some claim that it is thrice the sovereign. This is an absurdly mistaken view. It is like the case of Louis Suyon, I can't say these words, these Chinese words with all these hyphens and stuff. I took Japanese, that was hard enough. I failed Spanish, and then if I failed Japanese, I would have had to take Chinese at Suck University, but I just no, leave it to the people who get into that hyphenated stuff and anyway, I don't know much about it. Okay, it is like the case of this Chinese guy who, though a person of lowly station, forced Emperor Ming, that's an easy one, like mean person in Japanese, but I don't know if that's the same thing in Chinese, to lead his horse to him. Or like Chao Kao, I wonder if that rhymes. CHAO is the first word in KAO. If Chinese rhymes, it would be Chao Kao, I hope. Anyway, I'm probably saying it all wrong. Who cares? A rose of any other color smells just as sweet, so I don't care what you call any of these words. They're just freaking words. All words are limitations. Okay, in any language. There is no ascended language that you can speak on planet Earth. It's the ascended masters that you truly choose to be when you truly choose to be, what do we call it, transliterate, which is from mind to mind, or from heart to heart. I think it's heart to heart because the mind for mind is the is the implanted point of view that your mind is actually in your head. It's not. It's right here where your thymus is. Okay, anyway, back to the story, or like Chao Cao, the man who, though a mere subject, unjustly usurped the throne.
Or again, it is like the great arrogant Brahmin of India who fashioned a dais with the statue of Shakyamuni Buddha as one of its legs and used it to sit on. Okay, so he made a throne or a dais, a seat, and one of the legs was Shakyamuni and he sat on it. What an arrogant guy. Because he didn't realize he was Shakyamuni. Anyway, yet for the past more than 400 years, there has been no one in China who realized all this, and no one in Japan who doubted these claims of the true word school, because correct and incorrect with regard to the doctrine of Buddhism are in such confusion, the authority of the ruler the authority of the ruler, too, must bit by bit decline until, in the end, this country of ours will be attacked by another country and destroyed. So he thought it was going to be the Mongols who did it, but it was actually the American Empire who did it. But anyway, that's because exactly what he claimed. And the ghost show happened at time too, which we'll get in another ghost show. The real show. Okay. And because I need to alone realize that statement law and the authority of the ruler are together crucial passages from the sutras and compose a document that I submitted to the lay priest of OG, who is now deceased. Entitled it Establishing the Correct Teaching for the People of the Land, which is Risho Ong. Say looking at the Chinese characters right now, I'm looking at the English translations, I can always remember this character pronunciation when I'm not looking at it. Okay, in that document, discuss the matter in detail, but because ignorant person had difficulty understanding its contents, I will hear the pertinent argument and the factual proof supporting them. There is the Emperor Gautama, the 82nd human sovereign. This is the human sovereigns or the kings of Japan, otherwise known as the emperors. They are human sovereigns because no one else is willing to claim on and acknowledge the sovereignty that they truly possess from time without beginning. That is their true nature that only Nichiren was willing to fully claim on and acknowledge in this writing and other writings of the time. Okay. So, in the third year of Jokyo, which is 1221, that's the year before Nichiren was born, the year with the cyclical sign Kanotomi. On the 15th day of the 5th month, his forces attacked and killed Igataro Hogan Mitsusue. Thereupon they took the field against Toshitoki of the Kamakura shogunate. So this is when, the year before he was born, this is when all this shit happened, and that's why he said he learned the next year. Okay, this is the true revelation that you didn't get because you didn't read, and somebody really. Okay, the retired emperor in time called all the warriors of the 5 regions around the capital and the 7 marches in an effort to defeat the administrator Yojitoki of Kamakura in a province, but on the contrary, his own forces by Yoshi, and the retired emperor himself was exiled to the island of Oki. This is the retired his forces in exile, but Mr. Rebellion did fight after on the killing of the Tokis. He has 2 imperial islands, so there were also the 3 different islands of solitude, because he was so dangerous, because he was okay, imperial court was summarily beheaded. It's like execution summarily beheaded.
which they tried to give to Nichiren, but couldn't be decided that way. It would have been better, maybe, to be writing about for the ruler of the nation to attack Yoshi from your center, which seemed to be, as